Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Half-assed morning show.
It's not just the swearing. Did one of you, fornicate?
Fornicate? Look, I've boned a lot of chicks in my time, sure. But, as far as I can recall, I've never fornicated anybody.
93X. We talked a little bit about manscaping a day or two ago. I'm a part-time manscaper. I'm not always too concerned, but I'll get in there now and again. You know, Cubby, dig in and clear things out of there, especially if I'm going out of town without my wife. I'll clean some things up. But I can guarantee you won't find me busy trimming my eyelashes. This is the hip new trend on social media.
Don't do this, men.
Age did that for me. Mine, I used to have longer lashes, and I don't know what happened to them.
Oh.
They've disappeared.
Men have the prettiest eyelashes, and I love it. Don't do this.
The hip new trend for all you 8th graders and fully grown, angry, and wildly misinformed social media people is wildly misinformed. I can't stress that enough. Dudes are going ahead and trimming their eyelashes to appear more manly. Dudes are posting videos where their barbers are taking an electric razor to their eyelashes. One dude made a video, and he says, "Hey, guys, I'm cutting my eyelashes because it's not manly to have long eyelashes." Oh, okay, says who? I'm 53 years old, Josh. I never once in my life worried about whether or not I was perceived to be, quote, manly. Who effing cares? What are you so worried about?
I know. If somebody's calling you out on that, they're usually the ones that aren't sure if they themselves are manly.
This guy just wants to up and declare that long eyelashes are not manly. Well, who the hell made you the mayor of Mantown?
And it stands out a little more, at least the videos I saw. They took so much off, it kind of calls more attention to it than before. I don't know if I would have noticed.
I never thought about this, but I bet you Uncle Terry lost his eyelashes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Back up, Terry.
No more eyebrows for Terry.
Terry, put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
So good.
I bet he doesn't have eyelashes anymore. Big Al once burned his eyelashes off. I think he was fixing a water heater.
I bet he looked so weird.
Yeah, burned his eyelashes off. I mean, that water heater kind of blew up on him, and the flame, and it burned his eyelashes off. Talk to Big Al about his eyelashes.
Thankfully, they didn't burn off the whole way, but I singed my eyebrows pretty good once lighting a cigarette on the stove. And it just smelled like burnt hair constantly.
Eyelashes?
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Yeah.
I've done that with like the baby hairs that hang down from my forehead before, and that's a crappy feeling.
You know what else I've noticed aside from the eyelashes shrinking? My beard hair is getting closer and closer to my eyes. It's raising, like random ones. Do you have that?
Are you turning into Teen Wolf?
I don't know.
That'd be sweet.
No.
Like I have to trim, like basically under my eyes now. I've never had to do that.
That high cheek facial hair, Josh, for me, that it's been in the same spot pretty much since I first started growing facial hair.
Oh,
But
really?
Yours is raising up into your eyes.
It is.
It's going to be a.
Pretty soon I'm not gonna be able to see.
All right. According to one barber, listen to this now on this eyelash trimming trend for insecure men. One dude walked into his neighborhood barbershop and asked for an eyelash trim because his wife ordered him to. She sounds cute, right?
What? She's just jealous.
His wife criticized his eyelashes for looking too feminine and ordered her husband. What the hell? What are we doing?
That's not right. I don't like that.
So,
hey, dudes, if your wife ever says, you know, your eyelashes are too feminine, you need to get them trimmed, you should look right into her eyes and say, yeah, well, you got a big ass.
100%.
I mean, some people might argue that being told you need to do it and going to do it might be less manly than just having longer eyelash.
You have a really good point,
Yeah.
Josh. Yeah.
All right, I'm giving up. You said I got to do it? No problem.
But here's the deal. Trimming your eyelashes is not at all recommended by eye doctors. They say here, not only is it hazardous to put sharp objects near the eyes, but the eyelashes act as a buffer for dirt and dust and germs and bacteria and other debris that could fall into your orbital socket and kill you where you stand. Eyelashes also protect the eyes from light rays and from drying out on you, especially for those of us who use computers and digital devices all damn day, which is nearly all of you. Without your beautiful lashes, doctors say, your eyes dry out and you pass away.
That's too bad.
Yeah. To lose someone like that because of dry eyes. Sad, isn't it?
It is very sad.
Tragic.
I'd cry if I could.
Yes.
It's
but,
the eyelashes. that
But
don't.
your eyelashes have disappeared.
Maintenance Tech Jesus said, you have no idea how many times long eyelashes have gotten me laid in my teenage years. And yeah, there's been plenty of times that's like my opening line. Like, wow, you have such beautiful eyelashes. Boom, you're in.
I got made fun of once at a bar. Nick, I was with you one of the times we went to Arlington.
Ah!
This big dude came up to me. He's like, he commented on my eyelashes and called me a pretty boy, which I just cracked me up. That never happened to me before.
Really?
Yeah.
I was standing right there?
Yeah, you were right there.
Was I French kissing a girl or something? Was I
Well, not a girl. It was about 4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5 of them?
93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Nice.
93X.
Nice.
All right, Josh, how many of us have them?
Friends.
It's not friends.
Oh, jobs?
No, apps.
Apps?
How many of us have them? Apps. Are you always busy downloading apps to your cellular
No.
device?
I got a handful that I use, and I don't remember the last time I downloaded a new one.
Ashley, downloading apps.
I like to download some new ones every
Tell
now
me,
and then.
tell me
check 'em
about
out.
some of your favorite apps.
My favorite apps, nothing too crazy. I use a I use a pregnancy app quite a bit now.
What do you do on the pregnancy app?
You can see what size fruit your baby is every week.
Oh.
What's it at now?
Right now, I believe it's a lemon.
All right, pregnancy app. Any others?
Yeah, I guess my favorite apps would be like the typical ones. Instagram.
Yeah, you got to tell me because I'm just not familiar. I mean, I have them on my phone, but I don't. Go ahead. So
I have-
what are the typical ones?
Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, well, X now,
Yeah.
Tumblr. I do have quite a few food apps too.
I have 0 of those apps you just mentioned.
Okay.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes that makes sense. For
I'm
you.
also not involved in any of those. Food apps?
Yeah, like I have a B-Dubs app, McDonald's app. You can get points if you order through the app, stuff like that.
There's so much. There's so many possibilities. I just
I
have
like
never.
to have as few as possible.
You do?
Yeah, I'm just kind of anal that way.
Okay.
I've downloaded a couple random ones every now and then, like an 8-ball pool app. That can be fun. I bet you'd get a lot of joy out of that, Nick.
So it's like playing a pool video game?
Yes.
That sounds like fun to me.
How many pages do you have?
Oh, it stresses people out because I don't organize my apps. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh, my
9,
God.
10, 11. 11.
My wife is the same way. She's got just pages and pages.
It's hard to not. You do what I do, Josh. If on the iPhone, if you just swipe up, you can punch in like the first 3 letters of an app, and you find it right away.
Yeah, I have 1 page.
That's-
I can't imagine having 2 pages. That's like clicking on the second page of a Google search. You're not supposed to do that. Nobody does that. That's crazy talk right
I'm
there.
so jealous. Yeah, there are some apps on here that I definitely don't use anymore that I could get rid of. But what if I need them?
By the way, Stiller's fan Jesus texted in to say that his mother says that he stayed a lemon. You have a pregnancy app that will tell you every day or every week what fruit your child has grown to the size of.
Yep.
And lately, it told you it's at a lemon size. That's very
Yes.
interesting.
I was wrong, too. It's actually now at a peach.
A peach.
Next is avocado.
Okay, it goes from there. There are some very strange apps. I mean, Ashley sounds like she's pretty dialed into this kind of thing. Josh and I, not so much. There are some very strange apps that we can discuss this morning on the program. These are supposedly actual apps you can download to your cell phone, starting with the Nothing app. And as the name suggests, this app does absolutely nothing. When you launch it, you see a blank gray screen with nothing written in the center and nothing else.
What is the point of that?
I don't know.
Nothing?
Just maybe stop some distractions or to
Just
make
to
people think you're insane.
Show your friends, haha, the Nothing app. I imagine it's just a quick punchline. The plumber crack.
Now, this one I'm tempted to get.
Okay, so it sounds like a little bit of a video game.
Yeah.
In plumber crack, you have to toss ice cubes into a plumber's ass crack. That's it. That's the whole game.
In real life, you might get a plunger to the face, but this sounds kind of fun, actually, the plumber's crack.
I think I've mentioned this before. When we used to have those big, long, miserable concert festivals back in the early days, Josh, we'd have to go out to some massive field and put up with 3 or 4 days of live shows. Sometimes we'd get lucky and there were some great acts, but sometimes it wasn't so great. We would keep ourselves entertained, and we never got our asses kicked for this, although we probably should have. We would find a guy sitting in the field and enjoying the show.
Minding his own business.
Right.
Yeah.
We would find a guy whose ass crack was hanging out the back of his shorts or pants, and it was a challenge to drop a quarter perfectly down that individual's ass crack.
That's fun.
Yeah. So plumber's crack is another app you could try. Electric shaver.
I could see this being fun for a prank.
This simulates shaving. It simulates the act of shaving on your phone.
Yeah, so if it could adjust when your phone moves, kind of like a regular shaver, right? How the sound is different. It'd be fun to go up behind somebody, put it on their head, and have them hear the shaver.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that being kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about these with my fiance, and he said that the shaving app, he said those remind him of OG iPhone apps. Like there was a lot of apps like that. There's like before, the flashlight was a thing where you could pretend you had a flashlight, or you could make it like a regular phone, like an actual phone you have against the wall, and put that up to your ear. Just really basic apps.
I like your idea, Josh. I like the idea of using the shaving app to mess with somebody. Hey, we got music in the background. Does anyone know where that's coming from? Because there's no one in the other room running the board.
Yeah, the computers died over there.
Oh, this is a jam.
So where is this even coming from?
So I just got this other one to work while we're sitting here.
You're playing the
Yeah,
music.
so I got another computer
We've
going
had
here.
a massive technical meltdown in the building. We'll do the best we can.
Well, earlier it smelled like smoke. I don't know if it's related.
Yes.
And it was out of the main studio.
Is there a fire anywhere?
It must be related because Josh isn't kidding. An hour and a half ago, we smelled smoke, and now we've got a bunch of things that aren't working. Okay, more of these weird apps that you can download on your phone. By the way, back to the electric shaver app. Yesterday, I was shopping Summers, and I saw a little bottle of electric shave. You remember that product,
No,
Josh?
I've never. What is that?
It's an aftershave. And it's called electric shave. Just like, what are some of the other popular aftershaves? Maybe Old Spice,
Aqua
Velva. It was so 1981 that I saw this bottle of electric shave. I didn't think it was still the thing. All right, the next app is called Send Me to Heaven, or just SMTH. Now, this is a game where you throw your phone in the air and it calculates the height of the throw. Cell phone companies must have come up with this one, so we'll buy new cell phones and spend more money.
This would be fun, though. I could see myself really liking this.
I like to do it with children.
Oh.
Same type of thing.
So you and your friends can enter a contest to see who can throw their cell phone the highest. And obviously, maybe you'll get lucky and catch it the first time, but you're going to shatter your phone into a million pieces. I don't know. How tough are those cell phones? Could they take a decent fall?
If you got an, what are they called? OtterBox? I bet you have a pretty good chance.
I've got a really good case. If you drop this,
It depends the way it lands, right? If it lands on its screen, though, you might be SOL.
Check that out if you want. SMTH, Send Me to Heaven. Is this next app called $10 million or $1 million? I can't read this.
Oh, I cannot
I thought it was $1
remember.
million.
$1 million. Okay. This app is called $1 million. If you ever wanted to feel how counting $1 million feels like, or what counting $1 million feels like, this app will help you do that. You can choose to count the money out in either 50s or $100 bills.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
I guess.
Probably take a while.
I think I'd lose interest rather quickly. I Am Bread.
I've played this.
You've played I Am Bread.
Yeah, I believe I played it on my Xbox. I think you can also get it on your Xbox.
All right. I Am Bread is a simulator. We're rolling through weird apps you can put on your cell phone. I Am Bread is a simulator in which you control a single slice of bread, which is on a mission to evolve and become toast. You'll have to skillfully move the bread from its confines in the kitchen, take it across a bunch of different levels to achieve the goal. It has to go into the toaster. So what does the bread have to dodge? I'm picturing silverware, sponges and rags, ants, things like that.
Yes.
That sounds kind of fun.
If I remember correctly, it was a lot harder than I expected it to be. Very hard to control the bread.
Pluck It.
This is up my alley. Yes.
Oh, I thought of you right away.
Oh, I love
could see you
plucking
doing
hairs.
this.
Yes.
Pluck It is a game you can play on your phone where you literally pluck hairs.
So fun.
You've tried this?
I haven't tried the game, but I've tried it in real life. I just love plucking hairs.
It's not painful when you pluck your hairs?
No, I'm used to it because I've plucked my eyebrows since, as long as I can remember.
You get accustomed to the pain.
Yeah, I'm immune to it.
How about the nose? Come on, you're not a cyborg.
Oh, that would hurt.
No, I've actually never done that. I've never dealt with any hairs in my nose.
You've been lucky. I'll have
That'll
one.
make your eyes water.
Oh, I'll send you backpedaling when you pull one out of your nose.
I can't wait.
So I'm guessing this game is tailored to folks who like to watch pimple popping. I'm just guessing. Would you simulate the two, watching pimple popping shows?
Yeah, I agree. It's similar.
Yeah.
Do you watch pimple popping television programming?
They kind of make me sick. I enjoy doing it in my own life, but they makes me sick to watch like the big ones. Ugh.
Okay, no, I couldn't. Not for 2 seconds could I watch that on television.
There are apps where you can do that as well, but I specifically left them off this list because I know how much you hate them, Nick.
Places I've pooped. Now, I have heard of this app.
Poop Maps. That was a big one for a
Poop
while.
Map. So that's the name of a specific app.
That was the one that was really popular for a bit.
In case you're new to this, this app is for tracking where you've used the bathroom. You drop a pin wherever you've defecated, like marking your territory. Other people that have the app can see where you've been. Okay.
They should call it a loaf or a log instead of a pin. Don't you think?
It's genius, Josh.
A loaf.
I know some people who were really into that for a while.
I have not heard a bowel movement referred to as dropping a loaf, I think, since I was in 7th grade. I appreciate that very much, Josh. Instead of a pin, you should be dropping a loaf.
I don't think I'd be interested in this game, but I do think it's pretty funny.
Here's another app. You can go ahead, download it on your phone. This one sounds like a test of endurance, a test of stamina. The game or the app is simply called Hold On. And the objective of this game is to hold a button down on the app for as long as humanly possible. The longer you can hold on, the higher your score will be. So you end up with a thumb injury or a cramp in your
tunnel.
Tennis elbow.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Hello, my loves. It's Lala Kent. Yes, that Lala. And if you're not listening to the Give Them Lala podcast, here's what you're missing out on.
I stayed with my 2 kids Mom and Kristen shared a room, and you and Landon shared a room. What the hell is going on? A lesbian couple, a gay couple, and then this
Random woman with 2 kids.
so weird, but to me, it's the most common thing. This is my brother, his best friend, and my mom and her best friend. This is just how we roll. This is called the pod, okay?
Give them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Check this deal out right here. This effing thing, this subject was tailor-made for oddball Dana over there with all the childlike things that he spends his time getting involved in. Legos and whatnot, right? Don't you like Legos?
Love Lego.
They're so fun, but so expensive.
I knew it. I knew Dana was going to say it without the S.
Yep, that's the correct term. I know there are a lot of Lego fans, AFOLs as we call ourselves, adult fans of Lego in the audience. So anytime Lego comes up, I make sure to never have the S on it because I want to keep my cred with the Lego crowd.
Well, I know they get very upset.
Some people do. Some people get very passionate about it. I usually let it slide. But in this case, with people listening to our conversation, I always have to do Lego right by not making it plural.
That is so weird. So the plural for Lego is just Lego?
Yeah. I went to the store, bought a bunch of Lego sets.
And if you use it any other way in front of the purists, they'll beat the living hell out of you.
Oh, I've seen it.
I guess when you say it that way, Dana, it sounds right. But if I was just like chilling and I was like, oh, I want to do some Lego, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, same with saying like, oh, will you clean up that pile of Lego? It does kind of sound a little weird.
I'm not sure what the hell this means. Here's a listener texted in to say that his favorite backyard game is finding some mud for my turtle. Oh, I know what the hell you're saying there. I told you, send your anal sex jokes to Josh. Finding some mud for his turtle.
I got what he meant.
What again is the title for adult Lego fans? You call yourselves what?
AFOL or AFOL, adult fans of Lego.
Well, adult fans of. Do you know a guy who loves something or another, a hobby or an interest, but they try to keep it on the down low? There's a list online of hobbies and interests that men have that they admit they've kept it away from their bros, okay? I'm trying to think of some things personally, and I can't think of one, but maybe I'll get there as we further the conversation. So again, these are hobbies and interests that dodes have, but they don't tell their broskies. Things like keeping stuffed animals and plushies.
That is so cute.
On the bed.
Oh my gosh, my heart would melt.
Really?
Yes.
You wouldn't be a little creeped out? Let's say you're a single lady again, and it's possible. We know your fiance. The guy's a little squirrely. Let's say you're a single lady again someday, and double up. Some dude hauls you back to his house for action. You crack open the door. He's got little stuffed animals on his bed. That doesn't give you the creeps at all? You find that adorable? I would be creeped out.
Now that I think about it, that has happened to me before. It was just a guy friend, though, and he was like showing us his room, and he had little stuffed animals on his bed, and I immediately jumped on the bed and like asked, oh, what's this one's name, and was in love with it.
Were they like Transformers or little football players, or were we talking about like teddy bears?
Yeah.
All right. So you love.
I guess, it would work for a girl that likes that kind of stuff because I did immediately jump on his bed.
Yeah. I suppose you were right there on his bed for the taking.
Yeah.
You're a fan of stuffed animals.
Yeah, I think that probably helps quite a bit.
You think it's totally fine if a grown man has little Care Bears and whatnot on his bed?
Oh, Care Bears. Yeah, that's cute.
All right.
George said, I have a Beanie Baby collection. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh! It's a very hip thing, a very hip line that he dumped on us there. He's sorry, but he's not really sorry about his Beanie Baby collection. These stuffed animal fans, grown men, they say, I have stuffed animals and plushies from Squishmallow on my bed. Do you know what that means, to be from Squishmallow?
Yeah, it's a really popular stuffed animal brand.
Okay. One stuffed animal enthusiast, grown man. He especially likes, Josh, he likes the dinosaurs.
Oh, Oh, yeah.
He's got his
Everybody likes
little
dinosaurs.
Stegosaurus and his Brontosaurus and his damn, what's the one that'll kill you dead before you, the Tyrannosaurus? One grown man keeps this secret away from his buddies. I secretly love motivational quotes.
Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know why you want to keep that from your bros.
Because a lot of them are really cheesy.
Oh, yeah. I hate the great majority of them. I hate that.
I guess I'm thinking of like famous quotes from, leaders back in the day. Like Winston Churchill or something like that. So, you're talking about like hang in there? Or
right.
that kind of stuff?
That's what I was picturing, the dopey stuff that people hang on their walls that say something about life and love and wine. I love my wine. Shut up.
I just thought of something that I was trying to think of my fiance because he's very open about all of his interests. He doesn't really care what anybody thinks about him. And one thing that I bet his bros don't know is that he used to, before he met me, he would wake up early in the morning, have his cup of coffee, and read from like an inspirational quote book.
Oh, really?
And when I found that out, I thought it was adorable, but also so nerdy.
This is how he would get himself motivated for his day?
Yeah, he said it didn't last too long, but because he just couldn't do the early mornings anymore. But yeah, it was cute because I found the book one day. It had a bookmark in it, and I thought, what's this here, buddy?
So this is a guy who's openly admitted to being a pecker checker, checking out wieners at urinals, did dance all through middle school, high school, but this is the funniest thing about him by far.
He has his things.
I told you, the guy's squirrely. There's an individual who works here in this building, and I've been in her bathroom, and I don't think I've ever busted her balls about the motivational sign she had. I haven't been to her place in a long time. Had hanging in her bathroom, and I'm trying to remember it. I just thought it was so stupid, and I didn't want to tell her how I felt because I like her. It was something like, it's better to be fooled by a kiss than kissed by a fool. What the hell does that mean? Why is it on your wall?
In the bathroom.
This is what you want people to see when they're...
Here's some stuff this person's afraid to let their bros know about that they're into. Houseplants, scented candles, pegging, classical music. That's a whole list of things.
Houseplants, scented candles, and classical music, you said. You didn't say anything else.
There was nothing else. It was just those ones there.
I could have sworn.
I told you about my buddy whose wife is so freaking obsessed with scented candles burning constantly in the house that he just spends a fortune on this stuff.
They're not cheap. I bought them for gifts for folks. I was surprised.
And then one day she says, hey, come into the room here. And she points up at the ceiling. Why does our ceiling look like all black and yellow and like this? And he says, because he got a friggin' fire in the house burning at all times. Oh, God. All right. Here's some other hobbies and interests that dudes are into, but they're not going to tell their dude friends. Bubble baths. You know why I never liked a bath even when I was a kid, Josh?
Why?
Because I got no ass.
You're sliding around everywhere?
Oh, you got to get one of those nice pads you put on the bottom.
I was born with a trucker butt. I got no ass cheeks, so it was always so uncomfortable to sit in a damn tub.
I've never had a bubble bath. I mean, outside of when I was a kid, the bubbles that are created by the soap, but I've never put something in there to have a bubble bath.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever had one of those either, but just like an old school bath you used to take as a kid.
Oh, you've never thrown in a bath bomb?
No, I just found out about those a couple of years ago. My wife, any gift she got one of her girlfriends, she'd also include a bath bomb.
Oh, that's a great gift giver.
Bath bomb.
I think she gave me bath bombs, actually.
I'm sure, yeah, she was really into it for a while.
For the longest time, Josh, I was like you. I didn't know what a bath bomb was, but I heard my ex-wife and her friends talk about them, and I, honest to God, for a while thought they were referring to farting in the bathtub. And I'm like, they're so open about this. This is bizarre.
I was once gifted a bath bomb by a young lady, and then she gave me a little kiss. And I remembered that slogan that I saw on my coworker's bathroom wall that said, I'd rather be fooled by a kiss than kissed by a fool. Let me do one more here, then we got to take a break. Here's a guy who says, my wife and I watch every season of something called Love is Blind on Netflix, and I love it, he says.
Was that just here?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it was.
most recent season happened in Minneapolis. And
Well, that's where we are.
Yeah, it is.
Now that's exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people were like, oh, I know that place. I've been to that bar.
Yeah.
Lame claim to fame, my daughter did one of their hair.
Oh, really?
People on there.
That's cool.
I watch a little bit of this season with my fiance because she loves the trashy TV. I kind of duck in and out too, and it was entertaining in that this is so stupid type of way. Because the whole concept is it's two people, they talk through a screen so they can't see each other, they get to know each other, and the only way they can ever see each other in real life is if they propose to each other.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
It is.
Now, have you ever heard of or seen an episode of this program where someone comes out from behind that screen and they are just ass ugly?
No, because that's the thing, is they act like, oh, we're proving that love is blind. You know, you get to know somebody. The people they pick for the show are all drop-dead gorgeous.
Yeah,
we would have sex with any of them instantly.
Yes, exactly. Both genders.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
They just parodied one of those shows on Family Guy, the most recent.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah,
I'll have to check
that's
that
so
out.
funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
When you watch this most recent season of Love is Blind, Dana, and you noticed, oh, I know that location and I know that location, were there any locations that were similar to when you watch Mighty Ducks?
A couple of them, yeah.
What a coincidence. I saw that same street corner when I watched Mighty Ducks, and now it's on Love is Blind. Oh, I watched Mallrats, and I saw that and this.
It was actually pretty funny. We were watching an episode, and the couple that got engaged, they're having a heart-to-heart conversation in the sunken flower garden at the Como Zoo. And I'm sitting there watching my fiance. I go, that's where I got married.
I like cheering for your state. I like it when it gets some attention.
I don't know. It's like we whack off a little too hard over that in this town, I think. Yeah, what we were saying a few minutes ago, we were talking about this here. A list online of hobbies and interests that men have that they keep away from their pals. They don't let their bros know that they're dialed into these certain hobbies and interests. Stuffed animals, motivational quotes, bubble baths, watching a television program called Love is Blind. Personally, I still can't think of anything. And if I did have one of these supposedly, I don't know what the word would be.
Guilty pleasures, maybe?
I suppose, some kind of a guilty pleasure, hobby, or interest, I wouldn't be afraid if my guy friends knew about it. If they don't like it, they can kiss my ass.
I think that changes as you get older.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
I wouldn't care at this point, but I bet when I was younger, there'd
Yeah.
be some things I cared about.
I shave my armpit hair because I wear sleeveless shirts anytime it's above 50 degrees, and I think that a hairy armpit looks gross, so I trim the hair in my armpits.
Well, I
I have
manscape.
respect.
What's that?
I said, but me? Respect.
Yes. You're giving me mad respect for such a thing?
Yeah, because it can get kind of gross.
I got made fun of for cutting my eyebrows back. They got real bushy, and I trimmed those back a little bit, and I got crap.
Who? From a
What?
guy friend?
No, a girlfriend, actually.
girlfriend?
Meeting a girl I was dating.
Like, sorry, I don't want to look like a Cro-Mag.
Well, it
you know?
was kind of getting out of control.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
silly.
it's not like I, was plucking them and putting eyeliner on or anything, whatever you do to your eyebrow.
I think that's very normalized now, too, for guys to take care of their eyebrows, which they should. Take care of them.
Manscaping
I manscape.
can be in all different parts of the
Oh,
body.
boy, do I. Poops in boxes, Jesus said, be in the little spoon. You know, sometimes it's nice.
It is
F
nice.
off, LOL.
I hate having to be the big spoon sometimes.
Spooning is against the rules in my book in
What
the
about
first
with the
place.
puppies?
Oh, I love doing that.
I
Yeah.
spoon my puppies.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the best.
I got such a tiny little dog. If I spooned her, I'd kill her.
Yeah, probably.
True.
All right, here are some other hobbies and interests that dudes have, but they're not going to tell their bros. Sewing. Good for you if you know how to sew.
I wish I knew how.
My
Yeah.
God, I would end up impaling myself within minutes. Baking, boy bands.
I was embarrassed for a while that I started to like pop music because of my kid. She loved it. And I despised it until I started listening to it. I'm like, okay, I understand what she likes about it.
Yeah, most of it I can't get involved in the pop music. I mean,
Josh.
I like old pop, like the Bee Gees and whatnot. I love that.
I can distinctly remember a time, Josh, where we were out in high school doing whatever. I was the one driving. I dropped all my friends off, and as soon as the last friend got out of the car, I took out, whatever Linkin Park or Stain we were listening to, and immediately put in like an NSYNC CD or something. Just once the bros were gone, I felt safe.
Oh, remember the hate we got when we played the Backstreet Boys. Is it I Want It That Way? It was like an Edge Fest or an X Fest. We blasted it from our car.
Oh, yeah.
There's people that wanted to kill us.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. It's fun to be the heel in that situation. Here's a 30-year-old guy who loves what he calls raunchy pop music from people like Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. That's raunchy what those girls do?
Nicki Minaj, definitely raunchy, but
Yeah, she
not
can be.
Taylor.
Okay.
Who did WAP?
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
That is foul.
Yeah, you can't.
That's too much. That was too much when you wrote that, Cardi B.
That was my 2-year-old niece when she was about 1. That was one of her favorite songs.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she loved the beat.
Too much.
Romantic comedies, romance novels, pedicures, Legos, classical music. Now, here are some texts that came in from our listeners. They also had something to say, the dudes, some of their hobbies and interests that they keep a secret. One listener loves a good pedicure, and yes, my toenails are painted.
Yeah, that's something I've never done. I mean, with my daughter, we'd play Pretty Pretty Princess when she was very little, and I begrudgingly let her paint my toenails once. But
I considered it because of the fungus.
Oh.
Yeah, you probably should have done it.
I considered it. I did. I thought, this is so bad.
I thought you already did. Without how yellow your nails were. That's an unnatural color.
That poor person would probably quit the profession if Nick walked in.
Now, one of the items on in this report, this list of online hobbies and interests that dudes are ashamed to admit, one of them was, I love motivational quotes. And what I assume them to mean are those dopey signs you see hanging in people's homes, and they're just so douchey. A listener, Poonhound in Mound, Jesus, he wanted my feelings on lake life or life is better on the lake.
Do cabins come with those?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And
the realtor gives it to you and you sign on the papers.
I texted back, I said, make me puke. I cannot stand, because basically all you're saying there is, I have a boat.
Yep.
That's all you're saying.
It's one big humble brag.
I hate that lake life. Life is better on the lake. I see it all the time because I do end up on the lake a lot in the summer, and you see people wearing the T-shirts, and they have a flag on the back of their boat. Lake life, shut up. One of our listeners collects, am I saying this right? Collects graded Pokemon cards? Graded?
Yeah, he's probably rich then.
That's Fishing in the Dark Jesus does that. That means they're worth a lot of monies?
Yeah, I mean, some of the old ones, especially if they're graded too and in mint condition, yeah, you can make a lot of money on those.
Josh, Richfield Jesus is a big fan of something called ikebana, which is the Japanese art of flower arranging.
Oh, I could appreciate that.
Man.
Sounds really cool.
I always wanted to be able to trim a bonsai tree after the Karate Kid.
Oh, have you ever seen those at the Como Zoo? Those are so sweet.
No, and I love that zoo. Like, they have the little ones or big ones?
Yeah, they have little trees and they have like 10 or 12 of them. I love them.
I got to take a look next time.
They're so expensive to do, though.
I've heard they can be very expensive.
Finally, one of our male listeners is into collecting women's underwear, but he does not get specific as to how he, what's the word I'm looking for, Josh? How he
obtains them?
Obtains all these pairs of women's underwear.
Right. Are they aware? Are they unaware?
This matters.
Are there people missing some?
It makes a difference.
Do you wander around neighborhoods during the summer and you pluck them off the clothesline? He has a massive collection of women's underwears, but no further details.
Yeah, are they in a top drawer, in a hamper? I mean, there's so many different circumstances.
Are you wearing a ski mask when you obtain these pairs of women's underwears in an empty house? Is it just you in an empty house? We don't know.
93X.
Half-assed morning show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk.
Hi, I'm Vince Colonnese, host of the Vince Podcast.
These conversations where we can air all of this out without the filters, without the censors, without people with judgment, that's how you get a healthy country. Adult, reasonable, sober conversations. That's all I want.
In-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
That's why I'm so grateful that we get to do this every day. You are really the best damn audience in media.
The Vince Show.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
What in the actual are you guys doing?
On 93X.
We have 3 special guests in studio. Josh, all very important women in my life.
Yes, absolutely.
Veterinarian Dr. Andrea Johnston is here from German Animal Hospital. Welcome back, Dr. Andrea.
Thanks. Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. My female Yorkie pup by the name of Gertie is here. Everyone say hello to Gertie.
Hi, Gertie.
Hi, Gertie.
Oh, my God. Look at her.
Oh, I'm melting.
She's just so tiny and adorable. And finally, Josh, the two of you get to meet. My wife is here.
Yeah, it's so nice to finally meet you. I noticed you introduced them in the order of importance in your life.
Of course.
The veterinarian, the dog, and then your wife.
All you finally get to meet my wife, who doesn't want any mic time this morning. She doesn't want to hear her voice. Josh, can I borrow a mic that I can bring home?
Dude, she's right here.
Do you have a spare microphone that I can bring room to room at home?
Put a mic in her face.
Don't want to hear your own voice, remember? Well, of course, my wife brought our puppy in. And Dr. Andrea, of course, always happy to have you back in studio. And you always kill our text machine.
Fun.
We're going to get to plenty of questions for you that our listeners have texted in on their beloved house pets, but also kind of as a way to motivate folks maybe to get their pets checked out, have exams done, because you would be able to tell this way better than I could, but you can maybe catch things before they...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
I mean, I'm imagining fairly often a regular exam will find something that folks can attack quicker and help their pet be healthier.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of those things are pretty subtle, that you're like, wow, your dog's lymph nodes are big, or I hear a heart murmur, or there's a fractured tooth that's abscessed. That's why your dog's drooling. A lot of strange things that people just don't pick up on.
Are there subtle things? Like, obviously, if a dog's limping, I'm going to notice her. If my eye's falling out. But is there subtle things when a dog or a cat comes in where you can look at it and the average person wouldn't notice, and you can just tell, oh, something's going on
Sometimes I can see lymph nodes from across the room. And
Oh,
people
really?
will be like,
Oh,
this
that's
is
scary.
a lump that I just picked up and it's growing. And you're like, that's a lymph node.
Oh, wow.
This is kind of crazy. I can walk into a room and smell a urinary tract infection.
Can you really? Wow.
They say that like with kids, some people can smell strep throat. I can smell that same bacteria
My
when
God.
I walk in.
Just from experience, or you were born with it?
I don't know if it's a special talent, but a lot of people can smell it when you walk in. Just has this odor to it.
I don't think I have that talent.
Only in animals you can sense this.
I think.
Yeah, public bathrooms. Are you ever picking up a scent?
I don't want to know. I don't do humans.
So, I mean, what we wanted to try to do is, we got Gertie in here, and maybe, I know you're limited with space, and this is not your vet clinic, but maybe kind of walk us through a typical exam.
Sure.
And what is Gertie doing?
Sorry, Gertie's licking the table. That's probably dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that,
I was
Gertie.
giving her these little churu treats that you can buy on Amazon, and she loves them.
She's just a pup yet, and she's a little, obviously this is a strange room for her, so she might be a little squirrely. Right now she's eating some
churu.
Churu.
I've not heard of that.
She's very excited.
Some type of goo.
They're cat treats, but I usually buy them. We buy them and give them to dogs too on Amazon.
Oh, it's like a liquid?
Yeah, it's like a Go-Gurt for dogs and cats. So
Gertie is very interested.
Or giving vaccines, they lick it.
Which one is she eating over there?
This is chicken.
Oh, there's tuna over here.
Tuna is more of a favorite with cats, but dogs, they like the chicken a little bit.
She likes chickens.
Then my hands end up smelling all day, too, because I'm holding it. So I
Well,
prefer the chicken.
and then that might mask the scent of a urinary tract infection. And
Misdiagnosis.
So, I mean, how would you start? What would be the first thing you'd do with Gertrude over there?
You know, when we talked about doing this yesterday, I was laughing because I think this is going to be even easier than doing it to like 5-year-old daycare kids that I've had to do before. So this is way easier to instruct you guys or on the radio. So the main thing is obviously everyone does their physical exam differently, but I start from the nose to tail. And I kind of have a routine. So I first start looking at her teeth. And I know a lot of clients call in and ask about, or a lot of listeners call in and ask about dental disease.
Yeah.
And
She's checking out Gertie's teeth as we speak.
At her teeth. She's missing a few teeth. We knew that.
Well, she's Canadian.
She grew up playing hockey.
Yeah.
But she's a small breed, so they're more susceptible to periodontal disease. So we're looking for fractures. We're looking for tartar, and her teeth actually look pretty darn good.
Okay. How did she lose teeth?
So actually,
do we know this story
I do
already?
know this with her because she had retained baby teeth that we pulled out surgically that would not fall out on their own. So I surgically removed those because all her baby teeth should be out by 6 months, and hers were not. So we pulled them out. And
Is that every dog?
No, usually the smaller the dog, the harder they have a time coming out. So hers just never came out. And I don't think she had adult teeth. Actually, I know she didn't have adult teeth because they didn't push out the baby teeth.
She seems to really be enjoying this, but, of course, you're giving her a treat, and she knows you a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen her for a while, but she ran right up to me, so I love it.
After the teeth, you go...
So I check her lymph nodes. So you can feel lymph nodes.
Oh, she likes
right
that.
behind the ear there?
Yep, just kind of below the jaw, her salivary ducts there, and her lymph nodes. And then you can also feel her, what we call prescapular lymph nodes. So right along kind of her shoulder, in front of her front legs. Those feel nice and normal.
This would be the saddest radio show ever if Dr. Andrea suddenly went, oh, no.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to need to take her with me.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up earlier, but I didn't want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I thought
Same here, Josh.
this could tank.
Your dog has 2 hours to live.
I'm really glad I didn't bring in my widow who has, she's the 3-legged one. So she's been through some things. She has some problems. And that's one of the reasons why I thought maybe it's not a good idea to bring her in because I didn't want you to give me bad news. I would have cried on air.
I have a lot of wives that will not bring in their dogs because they're afraid I'm going to give them bad news. So the husband comes because they're afraid.
That's smart.
So now I'm going to look at her eyes.
Oh, she's got pretty eyes.
Biggest things we see are cataracts.
Yeah.
So I'm looking in there. She doesn't have any cataracts. I'm looking at the back of her retinas to make sure there's no abnormalities there. But sometimes I will actually, in cats, be able to look at their retinas and determine that they have high blood pressure.
Wow.
So that is an indication that they might have kidney disease.
It's very interesting. What do you call the instrument you just used to check
this is an ophthalmoscope.
Ophthalmoscope.
Yep. So just like your eye doctor would do, they put a light in your eye and look and make sure that can constrict your pupils, make sure there's no retinal detachment, cataracts, glaucoma.
I'm enjoying the hell out of this. This is really interesting stuff.
I'm learning a lot.
Just your typical...
The good news is she's little, so it makes it easy to look at her and examine her. I was afraid Josh was going to bring his Danes in this month.
That'd be a little more difficult.
So then I move on. So little small breeds, specifically Chihuahuas and really tiny breeds, can have an open fontanelle, so they can have a soft spot that never closed.
On their head?
On their head.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah,
like
so
a
I'm
baby.
making sure she doesn't have
Squeezing her skull.
an open fontanelle. Yeah, it's nice and firm. And then I actually realized I forgot my otoscope, which is my ear examiner.
It's okay. I got one in the trunk. I'll go grab it.
Yeah.
But I use a cone, just like your ear doctor, your general doctor would do to look in your ears
Uses
for
a
an ear
cone.
infection. Yep, it's like an ear cone. You put it in there.
Chris Paul.
And then what we're looking for is to make sure the eardrum is intact, make sure there's no ear infections, make sure there's no polyps. Cats get polyps in their ears. So if you have a cat that snores and it's young and it's a male, it could be a polyp coming from the back of the throat into the ear canal. So
How about a question
yeah.
from a listener? Well, we're still going to further examine Gertie here, Dr. Andrea Johnston in from German Animal Hospital, telling us the basics of an exam for a dog or a cat, because you should have them looked at and don't let things go too far. A listener texted in to say, my lab goes out to the yard and kills critters now and again, rabbits, squirrels, chipmunks. Is there any particular yard critter that I should worry about, something that stands a chance to make him really sick?
I mean, a lot of those critters carry parasites. So, and then the other thing they can get is if you ingest like a rodent or a rabbit and kill it, fleas off that animal jump ship right onto the dog.
Oh.
And if the dog were to ingest a flea, it can predispose them to tapeworms. So make sure your dog's on flea and tick control.
Do your dogs kill all the critters in the neighborhood, Ashley?
They try.
Yeah.
They're a little too slow.
Oh, well, the one's only got 3 legs.
Yeah. It is really cool though. One of my dog, Bruin, he's a Catahoula leopard mix, and his prey drive is so high that if he sees a bunny or a squirrel outside the sliding door window, he sits there and he just starts to shake, just convulse like crazy.
That's what Gertie over there does. Did she hear Ashley when Ashley said the SQ word?
Well, and you know her breed. They are rodent chasers.
Yeah.
They are rodent killers.
She's damn near. She's not much bigger than a damn squirrel.
No, she isn't.
not.
Would she know what to do if she caught one?
No. No. She'd probably dance with it or something like that.
Cute.
They'd rustle. So then I go on and I feel along her ribs to make sure she is not overweight. And I look above her waist here to make sure she has a nice little tucked in waist and is not like a Tootsie Roll. You want to be able to feel their ribs but not see them, and that can indicate that they are an ideal weight.
She's around 5 pounds, I think.
Yeah, she's a peanut.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she looks great. But, if she gains 1 pound, that's like 10 pounds in a person, right? So you got to be careful with that with her size. And then I take out my handy-dandy stethoscope, and I will listen to her chest.
Oh.
So, yeah.
See how the heartbeat is doing and all that.
Yep, I'll make sure there's no heart murmur. I'll make sure that there's no crackles or wheezing in her lungs.
Some listeners are texting wanting to know when you're going to get to the anal glands.
Everybody asks that. It's funny because I brought gloves today just to joke, and I was like, I am not doing anal glands on the air. And I would leave you guys with a horrible smell.
Yeah, I don't need that right now.
Horrific for days.
I can sense that across the room the way you can UTIs. I can.
Oh, boy, yeah. With those anal glands.
It's the worst.
Is a Yorkie the type of dog that would be checked for that?
Okay, so a couple things. Anal glands can be an issue with allergies, dogs that have chronic allergies. So if they're scooting, licking, or you smell it often, that's an indication that they can't express them on their own. Some dogs just have that darn problem, and they have to come in every 4, 6, 8 weeks to have them expressed.
And when you put the gloves on, they get nervous.
I don't know. I think they do.
Have you ever had one that can read it? Like you put the gloves on? Yeah.
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 Now, I guess the other thing is I always recommend anal gland expressions in dogs at least, at minimum, over 5 years of age, because anal sac cancer is really common.
Okay.
Oh, good to know. Wow.
Yeah, and it's hard to find.
I really made a fool of myself at the groomer once when I was bringing my old dog Tori Joe in there. My ex-wife, she usually dropped her off, but I did it this time, and we knew that Tori Joe didn't like the anal glands expressed, and my ex-wife reminded me, you should make sure you tell them that. I go, yeah, I got it. I'm walking out, and I turn around, I couldn't remember the term, and I said, oh, yeah, no, she doesn't like any of that butt stuff. You don't need to worry about that.
Butt stuff.
I usually take the dog out of the room. It can be a little traumatic, especially for the smaller dog and the bigger finger.
Oh, God.
I knew that was going to go somewhere.
You know what? I had a proctology exam, and the guy was pretty funny. He's like, all right, drop your pants. First and foremost, this is going to be worse for me, but you're lucky I've got little fingers.
You got to have a sense of humor.
We became fast friends.
Yeah.
I love that story. Another question here for Dr. Andrea. And I love the way this one's written up. I leave the radio on for my dog when I leave for work. She enjoys your segment on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Love it.
Although now that she's an older female, when I come home, I find that she's changed the channel to KS95. Anyway, sometimes she coughs out of nowhere. This worries me. Any ideas? A coughing dog.
Yeah, so if she is an older dog and she's smaller, or if she's potentially overweight,
Well, they
my
didn't say
guess
the breed, yeah.
is it could be a tracheal issue. If she gets excited, if you pull on her leash, her trachea will collapse. That trachea is made of cartilage. So the older they get, the weaker it gets. And when they get excited, they inhale air and it just collapses. So my guess, as long as it's not getting worse or the dog's feeling well, that's my guess.
Okay.
There is another dog in the building right now.
Yeah.
Steve Gorman from KQRS, it's his dog. And I never get to pet the dog because every time I do, she, I can't remember.
It's a he.
He gets so excited that he does that every time. And I feel bad because it sounds painful.
Oh, he sneezes constantly.
Really?
Yeah, all the
Sometimes
time.
that's like a nervous, excited habit.
That's
but
the
if
way
it's
it appears.
coughing,
Yeah.
And if they do kind of this retch at the end, that oftentimes is them clearing their throat, like an 80-year-old man. It's harder for them to clear their throat.
Mm-hmm. So far, has Gertie passed her exam? She's doing
She
okay
has.
so far?
Yeah. So
Okay.
then what I do after I listen to her heart and her lungs, and I move on to her belly. This is a common area where I will find abdominal masses, sadly, especially in older dogs. Splenic masses are really common. I can feel lymph nodes in there too, but everything feels really nice and normal. I can feel her bladder too.
She's just a winner is all she is. She's a winner.
She is.
Yeah.
And then I move back and I feel her knees and her hips. So we kind of do an orthopedic exam.
What are you looking for there?
So I want to make sure there's no osteoarthritis or hip pain. And then also another thing we commonly see in small breed dogs is patellar luxations. So that kneecap can pop in and out. I don't know if she ever skips ever or anything, but sometimes that kneecap will pop in and out of that trochlear groove of the tibia there. But hers feels great. She feels good.
All right. That's great to know. 3 guests in studio. Dr. Andrea Johnston from German Animal Hospital, so she can field your questions about your pets. My wife is here, who brought our dog Gertie, so Dr. Andrea could give us an idea of a typical exam. And so far, Gertie is acing that exam. A couple of text messages I wanted you to hear right away. I wanted you to hear right away, Dr. Andrea, and my wife. Here's a listener who said, Nick, it was nice of the wife to stop by and protect you from all the whores.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, Dr. Andrea, but Nick's wife hates whores.
Wow.
She despises whores.
She's nodding her head no.
Dr. Andrea, after you're done inspecting Gertie, can Josh go through his puppy mechanic routine on the dog so we know how that goes?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear the song too.
Puppy mechanic?
Yeah,
I
I've
love
heard about
playing
it.
puppy mechanic. I can't play with Gertie.
She's too small for puppy mechanic.
Yeah, unless I put her up on a lift. I guess I never even thought of that.
You could probably just do like airplane with her.
I told the guys and gal yesterday, I got a little too close to the exhaust the other day playing puppy mechanic.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I'm moving on to the other puppy.
Josh, do you have any messages on your end from the brother or sisterhood for Dr. Andrea?
Well, this is a great time for the Wi-Fi to die on me, so I'm counting on you guys.
Dr. Andrea, I have a cat. Is it safe to use eucalyptus essential oil in a steam diffuser? I've read that eucalyptus is poisonous to cats.
As long as they're not ingesting it. I mean, aerosol, that's fine.
Is that what they put in Vicks Vapor Rub? Maybe you don't know this.
I think so. Or that's menthol, isn't it? Or
is it?
some type of menthol. Is that right? I will say cats are predisposed to asthma, so any airborne additions you add, like, what do you call it, diffuser, it can cause their asthma to flare up.
Okay.
So I'd be cautious of that.
How long can my cat go without being fixed?
Well, I would do it sooner than later. I would do it at 6 months. I wouldn't do it any later than that. They're so susceptible to breast cancer or mammary cancer if you wait.
Okay.
And you said, was dog around 6 months too? Dogs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For a spay. A neuter, we would wait longer now.
You would? Okay.
Here's a dog who had a little accident.
Oh, no.
My dog biffed it. Has a good-sized gash that healed now, but has a lemon-sized fluid sac on his side. Will it go away, or do I need to get it drained?
Sounds like an abscess. So it probably healed with some bacteria in there. So you need to get it drained. They might have to put a drain in and lance it and get on antibiotics.
That's got to be one of the high points of your week when there's some lancing and draining going on at the vet's office.
I had one yesterday.
Is that right?
My dream job would be to work off a 94 in South Dakota and treat all the hunting dogs, because that's all they have, these wounds, these lacerations, these emergency cases.
Yeah, they get a cut or two, and
yeah.
What's the grossest thing you have to do at work? Is it the anal gland, or is it something you've done that so many times it doesn't even bother you?
You know, what I really don't like doing is de-obstipating a constipated cat.
I mean, it's like going.
So I actually have to manually go in and scoop out the.
yeah.
Lord.
I can see that being unappealing.
It just stinks because it's been in there forever.
Oh, I bet. Yow.
Dr. Andrea, I just dropped my 12-year-old golden retriever off at a vet for an oral mass removal surgery, possible melanoma. How serious is this? Thoughts on ivermectin? Ivermectin?
Ivermectin. Ivermectin won't work for that. But melanoma
is that the horse stuff?
Yeah.
The stuff that
that's like
Aaron
what we
Rodgers
use for
got known
heartworm
for?
preventative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a separate question. So how serious is this possible melanoma oral mass removal surgery? Maybe it was a separate question. Thoughts on ivermectin? That's Bill from Plymouth.
Oral melanoma is pretty concerning in a golden retriever. You have to get it removed with wide margins, and then also there is now a melanoma vaccine for those dogs that have had melanoma. It's pretty expensive, but you would probably need to see an oncologist after having that removed.
For the love of God, my dog is holding half of the family hostage, says our next listener. My dad got a Havanese and was told he can't leave it alone crated for more than 2 hours. I hope this isn't true.
No. That dog can be on its own. Yeah, for sure. I would keep it at home longer than that.
I don't know why they...
No.
Here's a guy whose dog has thrown up 3 times in the last 24 hours. It's undigested food. She seems okay otherwise, hasn't gotten into anything bad. No change in diet either. The problem is we leave for Mexico on Monday. I need to figure out what's happening and hopefully treat it before we leave. I can't leave my dog with a dog sitter if she's still throwing up.
Yeah, I'd get your dog into a vet. I'd also fast it, not offer any food. If it continues to vomit or not eat, get your dog in before you go.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. Here's a listener with a kitty named Claptrap. Does anyone know this? Does that mean something? What does that mean? Claptrap, like the STD?
I don't know. It's cute, though.
My kitty named Claptrap has dandruff. How do I get rid of it? Poor kitty.
Well, cats hate baths. You could try to bathe it. Make sure it's not allergies. Sometimes fish oils will work really well with dry hair coat.
Mm-hmm. Finally, what I have in front of me, what breeds, because of back issues, should probably not jump on and off the bed or couch or maybe even keep away from stairs?
Well, the two that come to mind, French Bulldogs and Dachshunds. Those are the two big ones we see with herniated discs. But any breed can have a herniated disc, just like a person.
Did our puppy Gertie fall asleep? Oh, no, there she is.
Oh, she's watching you.
Hi, Gertie.
Those ears perk up. That's so cute.
Thank you very much, Dr. Andrea, for every damn thing, and especially making sure that our beloved Gertie is in good health, and she seems so excited to see you.
She looks great. She looks awesome.
Yeah, that was
You're
fun.
doing a good job.
And then this other lady in the studio didn't want to be on the microphone.
That's your wife.
Yeah. I'll see you in a little while. Thanks, Dr. Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone for texting in. My God, you still get hundreds and hundreds of text messages.
Yeah, we could easily have you on a few times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Mic Drop, hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridlin. It's raw.
Any single time that you left the wire, you could lose 4 guys.
It's unfiltered.
That was the most horrible screaming I'd ever heard. Taking a hit on the chin, you want to pay it back?
It's tough talk from the top minds in their field.
Would I choose to not do our duty as military fighting men? No, I would not make that decision, without question.
Mic Drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
93X rocks.
Oh, Lord, please.
93X.
I'm going to go ahead and call this one of the worst things that's ever happened. Of all the things that have ever happened, consider that for a minute. Of all the things that have ever happened since the dawn of time, I'm going to put this incident in the top 10 worst ever. And I believe that this is the kind of thing that should earn someone a life sentence in prison. You go ahead and tell me if you agree with me on my first statement, where I'm putting this in the top 10 worst things that have ever happened since the dawn of time. Tell me if you agree with that or not. And then also you can give me your thoughts on whether this should earn someone a life sentence in prison. A woman in Pennsylvania with the name of Christina. Oh, there she was, Josh. She was driving a motor vehicle, don't you know? But some kind of a traffic jam happened. along the way. And for one reason or another, Christina got so angry at another driver that she stopped her car. She jumped out of the damn thing. She ran over to the other car that had her so upset. She ran over to the other car. She jumped up on the hood, and then she pressed out a lady turd right onto the hood of that other vehicle.
Likely you specified what gender the turd was.
Well,
it matters.
It does matter.
It does because we talked about this before. It seems like these public pooping stories usually are women for whatever reason.
99 times out of 100. She hopped her carcass up onto the hood of that other car. She took down her pants and underwears. She turned her ass to the driver. She pointed her dirty penny and then emptied her insides onto the hood of the car.
I'm always a mix of disgusted and impressed. I wish I could just do that on command. I think I'd be a lot happier tummy-wise. But my God, that's disgusting. And what she left isn't right.
I didn't. I know that a witness recorded this on video and put it online. There isn't enough money in the world to get me to watch that video. So you looked at what she left behind.
I did.
I couldn't do that. So where do you stand here on the bold statements I made on this being one of the worst things that's ever happened since the dawn of time? Where do you go with that?
I'm going to disagree with that part, but I'm going to strongly agree, that is, with the second thing you said.
Yeah.
If she had done it in an open sunroof, then I would consider it the worst thing of all time. The fact that it was just on the hood softens it a little bit.
My second statement was I can live with I can live with where you just went with that, Dana. My second statement was, and you're agreeing with this, Josh, that this should earn you a life sentence in prison.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve to be around the rest of society.
No.
She'll have her own toilet in that thing.
That she won't use.
Yeah, maybe they just make her toilet look like a Hyundai hood, like in the case of this incident.
Here's a text message that just came in from, I'll get there. Sorry, the text messages, sometimes they roll like a damn slot machine, and it's hard to keep up with. Where is he? He's gone now. Oh, here he is. A text message came in from you picked him up, you dropped him, Jesus. He wants to know, did she wipe? I'll get there. Thank you for asking. The poor police in town were called to the scene. Christina, absolutely disgusting person that she is. She's 44 years old acting like this. Police had to show up. And now she's off to court. The charges she has to answer to go like this: indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, and, quote, depositing waste on the highway. It must have been a hell of a turd.
Well, when I think waste, I think of something solid. I just saw the video. There's nothing solid about what happened on that car.
No, it was very viscous.
Mm-hmm. I need to know that.
And she claimed it was clean poop and she didn't have to wipe. How do you not have to wipe after that? That was a mess.
Oh, God.
By the way, what do they call it when you don't have to wipe? Is that a ghost poop?
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember learning about that. I think it was 5th grade.
She needs a towel, much less toilet paper.
She needs a shower.
Josh is right. She admitted to the police, yes, I took a lady deuce. She isn't coming off as remorseful at all. She did brag to the cops that what she dropped off on the hood of that car was a clean poop. She said, quote, I didn't even have to wipe. But you're telling me right now, because I didn't look at pictures or videos, you're telling me that that's just a bold-faced lie.
Looks like somebody dumped a chocolate milkshake on the hood of that car.
Yeah, it kind of does. But then again, I was also wondering if maybe it was blurred. But if it wasn't, if that video wasn't blurred, that was raw lady diarrhea. That was dame diarrhea is what that was.
If you see this pig's mugshot, she's just smiling ear to ear, which makes me want her to see zero daylight. I want her to go to prison for 2 or 3 life sentences because she's smiling ear to ear in her mugshot like she's proud of what she's done. Not that it matters at all. But Christina says the reason behind this insanity was that the female driver of that other car, the one that took the turd, she said the female driver of that other car called her a fat bitch. Christina said, I wanted to punch her in the face, but I pooped on her car instead and went home. This nutcase is so in love with herself, she can't stand it. I want her gone forever.
I mean, she's not a skinny queen like Ashley, but she's definitely not a fat B word whatsoever.
Well, that's what she claims the other driver called her.
She's lucky she didn't get hit by that other driver. She's lucky that other driver didn't just hit the gas.
Oh, I 100% would have. If something like that starts happening, yeah.
Can you imagine that moment when Christina exposed her ass and probably some of her vagina in the process? Can you imagine that moment for the driver when she pointed it at her?
No.
Just that second or two where the driver must have been thinking, she's not going to take a right?
Yeah.
Is she really?
I would never even think. I would think she was just sitting on my car, like rubbing her butt on. There's no way I would think she could do that.
An aggressive mooning?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd assume an aggressive mooning, and then it happens.
I would have.
It gives way.
I would have understood whatever type of retaliation the driver wanted to take.
Me too. What does this say? Oh, God. North side front load, Jesus. He says, I hate this with every molecule of my being. I think he's referring to the story. He says, this story about the lady taking a deuce on someone else's car, he says, I think this tops your dirty backdoor girl on stage story from back in the day. He said, that one made me throw up in my mouth a little bit, but this one is the new champion. Ick, says Northside Front Load Jesus. Yes, thank you for bringing that up again. Many, many years ago, I was hosting a hot legs contest at a bar, and the women basically took their pants and underwear off on stage. That's how bar parties used to operate back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Things would just come completely unhinged right away, especially, a bunch of liquor being served. And yeah, a gal pulled their pants and underwears down at the bar on the stage in front of hundreds of people. And she did not realize, because she was so intoxicated, she did not realize that she had shat herself terribly. And it was running down her leg, and it was just horrible.
Poor girl.
And when she pulled her pants and underwears down, and trust me, all the women up there looked great, by the way. They were pretty girls. When this gal took her pants and underwears down and was kind of wagging her little bottom at the crowd, the reaction was, oh, my God! Well, she thought, because she was so drunk, she thought, oh, yeah, you like that, huh? And so she's wagging it even more. And the crowd is just running for the exits, but she didn't realize. She thought it was a positive crowd pop, not a negative. Yes, Northside Front Load Jesus. I'll remember that until the day that I die.
Anybody want to finish my chili?
What's wrong with you? Yes, of course.
All right. Roll-off Jesus says, who in their trailer park mind seriously dumps a sewer pickle on the hood of somebody's car? I don't know, dude. This gal did, and she's proud of it. Or as they say in Canada, proud of it.
This person says the way you punish her is you got a rubber nose in it. Bad girl.
Yep.
Who did that?
Florida Hockey Jesus has this thought for us. These are his thoughts on Christina, the gal who took the dump. Well, you guys are calling it, well, Josh called it raw diarrhea. The gal who unleashed raw female diarrhea onto the hood of a car. Florida Hockey Jesus says, you know what? Someone's smashing that. Which makes it even worse. There's someone out there who's hitting that action.
Maybe they don't know what they're, quote, smashing. Never mind. There's signs. A lady doesn't go from zero to pooping on the hood of a car.
Yeah, you're right.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.